Shalom.
Shalom.
Our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Give double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth. And salutes to all the sincere elect out there. Keep on pushing. We are officially in the year of Jacob's trouble. This devil is throwing the kitchen sink. Alright? And apostates, sellouts, and agents. So we're going to talk on various topics. Right now, we've got a particular topic on my mind. Bring out the article. Start with the article.
The Simon Topper.
Yeah, because I've been as what our elder Apostle Rakar, he made mention of Simon Toko.
Oh, Toko.
Toko. I might be butchering it.
No, it's Toko. It's Toko.
Yeah.
You're right. All right. This is from the Medium.
Yeah.
It says here, Simeon Kimbagu Toko, a mortal embodied in a divine realm. It says, exploring the enigma of an avatar who walked among mortals, yet dwelled in God-like splendor. So, that's the guy of whom recently Apostle Tahar.
Yeah.
He made a video on, practically, he pretty much came as an angel, man.
Yeah.
And the angel, well, in this vessel. Now it says imagine someone rising. Actually, let me read this as well. It says, actually, before that, let me try and get the image of it. That's the image right there. The image there as well. That's Simeon Toko.
Yeah, because I've done a video on him. We have to choose our words. I've done a video on him. I'm just checking Apostle Tahar's channel.
Go on.
And I want to see if it's still up. I
believe the video on Simeon Toko.
On Simeon Toko, I done a video on it once, and they took it down, but I found a way of editing it, and I put it back up again. But I kind of edited it. Hold on.
Okay.
Carry on talking. I'm just to see if I can find it.
Yeah. So this was I'll just read it. It says, imagine someone rising from the dead more than once, defying assassins and defying logic itself. That's the legend of Simeon Toko. It says, a figure whose remarkable feats overshadow even the miracles attributed to Hamashiach.
Yeah. The title of the Elder Apostle Gabar's video is "The Lord Puts Glitches in the Matrix." Because as far as the spirit, there was Yahushua, right? He came to deliver and save us. He's the mediator. Mm-hmm. But we had glitches. We call them freedom fighters.
Yep.
Powerful men, good with work, good orators.
Yeah, the words.
The word orator, good with their words.
Mm-hmm.
Who made an impression. Who made a big impression. Muhammad Ali. All these men were great in their lots.
Yeah. So again, it says, imagine someone rising from the dead.
Yep.
More than once, defying assassins and defying logic itself.
Defying logic, yeah. Logic is what you can. It's in a box. You can explain it.
It's limited.
It's limited. It's in a box. You can explain it. You can pigeonhole it. But when something's that so-called, this is how Esau be getting that. When something's out of the box, you can't explain it.
Yeah.
Which is another word is out of this world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on.
It says that's.
And Lord willing, this is going to be a quick video. We might have to do a part 2. We're just catching up on a little bit of this. One of my favorite subjects. It's going to lead us into a particular scriptures.
Yep.
Some of our favorite scriptures.
So it says that's the legend of Simeon Toko, a figure whose remarkable feats overshadow even the miracles attributed to Hamashiach Yahushua. I mean, as Yahushua says, greater works ye shall do as well. So this is also an example, a taste of how that spiritual power will be like.
Yep.
Yahushua did. In fact, let me even get just a quick precept before.
Yeah, bring out.
Because Yahushua says some of us walking, would not die. Hold on, let's see. Try to get a quick precept.
I know there's John 14 and also there's John 12. What one you got in mind?
One where he talks about some of you will not die.
Can't.
Walk upon us. Selakim. Okay, Matthew 16 and 28. Okay,
Oh yeah. If you, as a matter of fact, while you're getting that, let me read a precept. Now you mentioned Matthew 16. Yeah, on this particular subject. Matthew, no, John 16. Have you got your one? All right, go on. I'll find mine.
This is Matthew 16 and 28. It says, "Verily I say unto you," these are Yahushai's words. It says, "There be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom." So some brothers, they literally go and just endure to the very end, quite literally. Instead of their bodies being given up, to death, some brothers walking on earth right now in this time will be able to literally just go from this vessel translated into the new bodies, as it says in 1 Corinthians 15, verse 40 onwards.
Yeah, was that John 16? Yeah.
Yeah, this was Matthew 16.
All right. So read John 16 and read 12.
Come on, God. Right, John 16. Right, this is John chapter 16 and verse 12. He says, "I have yet many things to say unto you, but ye cannot bear them now."
Right.
That's your cold precept.
Cool. So we're just hitting these heavy hitters. There may be a part 2 to this because time, but we just want to keep it simple and plain and to the point, scratching the surface.
Yeah.
And we know it's going to lead us into the heavy hitter. When they come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against them.
Cool.
Right, and we got this example. The article kind of goes into it. The scriptures, as a matter of fact, break down the scripture, Baba Kush. The first one you read.
Cool. So Matthew 16 and 28 again says, "Verily I say unto you, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom."
Yeah, repetition for emphasis. You broke it down again because it's leading us on the article that we're reading.
Yeah.
And there was many things that Yahushua didn't reveal. Right? Many things he said you ain't gonna be able to contain it, man. And with our minds and our bodies, as a matter of fact, let me ask ChatGPT something. Like I say, this is it's a heavy topic, so we're just gonna keep it straight and simple and to the point. Chat, how much of the percentage of our brain do we use?
The whole percent of the brain idea is a bit of a myth. In reality, we use pretty much all parts of our brain, even if not all at once. Different regions light up depending on tasks. Some for movement, some for memory, others for problem solving. So it's really a whole brain effort, just with different areas doing different things.
Right, so let me ask Google. As a matter of fact, you ask Google. Ask Google the percentage of our brain. Sometimes chat be hitting the point, but sometimes as we know, go on.
I was gonna say chat is probably rebuking Esau, because sometimes chat be just coming with the straight truth. All right, let's see how much of our brains do we use? How much of our brains?
The Most High Yahushua was having mercy upon us, when he said there's many things that he could have revealed to him, but you ain't able to bear them at present. You got it?
The AI overview saying the same thing.
Is it?
Yeah, saying that that humans use 10% of their brains is a myth.
All right.
We use virtually 100% of our brains every day.
Nah.
Well, that's what they say, so...
All right, go on.
We want to talk on it
because basically that scripture cuts them.
Yeah.
So why can't we contain everything that we put our mind to? Why can't we contain it? Why don't we remember everything?
Yeah, we are limited.
We're limited with dreams. Sometimes the Most High gives us visions, dreams.
Yeah,
what he wants us to remember, we remember. What he doesn't want us to remember. Lately I've been getting a lot of visions and dreams, but what you only remember what you. As a matter of fact, the scripture cuts it as well. The one in Job.
Yeah.
Job, is it 33 and 15? That cuts all that what they're just saying, man.
But yeah, it's true because you don't really use 100% of your brain. The parts of things, the things of which you have to unlock, but you have to you gotta get unlocked by Yahweh Shem Yahushai.
Yeah,
That's why
Most
Yahweh Shai, as he was here, you know, that was like a teaching process for the apostles, for the disciples.
Mm.
You know, for example, you know, casting out demons as well. You know, that can be likened as using a certain part of your brain. Even there's a moment of spiritual power where Yahushua did say, which one of you can add 1 cubit to his stature.
To stature, yeah.
Yeah. So that's that, you know, but just by taking thought.
Yeah.
So of course that means that, you know, if you were to do that right now, you can't do it right now. You know, so Yahweh Shem Yahshua has to unlock our mind so that spiritual power can then be unlocked and then utilized. So we'll be using even more of our brain to then manipulate matter to be able to add to our stature. So
One more question.
Go on.
How many of the elements are on today's periodic table?
As of 2026, there are 118 officially recognized chemical elements on the periodic table. These range from hydrogen with atomic number 1 up to oganesson with atomic number 118, all officially recognized by UPAC.
All right, just read that because maybe they couldn't hear that.
It says, as of 2026, there are 118 officially recognized chemical elements on the periodic table. These range from hydrogen with atomic number 1 up to oganesson with atomic number 118, all officially recognized by the IUPAC.
Right, and what did the Most High say? We're going to be as him. You just read it. So there's certain things he ain't going to reveal to us.
Yeah, I could read it again.
Yeah, read it again then. Just to cut chat.
Yeah, Al-Shai's word. It says John 16:12. It says, I have yet many things to say unto you, but ye cannot bear them now.
Yeah, because we're limited. And also when you talk about the periodic tables, they're limited. And to be able to manipulate the elements, we're going to have to go above and beyond to what they're giving us today. As even Chat said it, as of 2026 there are 118, so even he knows it's as of 2026 because they've always been the boundaries or the science, so-called science, is always moving, and they learn more as time goes on.
It'll be like this, you know, for brothers that have seen the movie Limitless.
Right.
You know, that's one movie. Another one is also Lucy as well, where they talk about accessing majority of the mind, if not 100% of their brain.
Yeah, eventually, that's what happened in the end.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, she started to actually, she became immortal.
Yeah. You know,
Folly movie, but there was, you know, you pick out the bones and yam the meat, that's where the bones.
Yeah, because they did it through an artificial means, some kind of a drug or, you know, tablet or something.
Yeah, she actually, to
expand their mind as well.
Yeah.
So the same way Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to expand our minds to be able to know, okay, this is how you know, manipulate these elements to get this outcome.
Yeah, to not know all things. She actually became AI.
Yeah.
she actually went into the tech, all the tech, and was able to access all the information out there. Our brain can't take that. What's in that movie? X-Men.
Oh yeah.
What's the guy who can? The guy who
Charles Xavier.
Oh man, that guy. When I watched that, I couldn't. The way my mind, the way my mind was, I said, "Shit, that's too heavy. That's some heavy shit, boy." You leave that to the Most High, knowing everything. We have to. That's what the scriptures say. Mind not things that are too heavy for you.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah.
Bring that one out. There's going to be a part 2.
Definitely.
Because we haven't even brought out my man yet. I mean, you know.
We're getting into it.
Yeah, we're getting into it. And time is moving fast, and we're on a bit of a limited time today. It's all right, because we're on the Most High's time anyway.
Yeah, so it says Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 3 and verse 23. It says, be not curious in unnecessary matters, for more things are showed unto thee than men understand.
Oh, and that's 2 precepts. They go together like a bird or a feather. the one in John 16 and the one we just read.
Yeah.
And we're just going in the spirit because we're getting onto something that's out of the box, which did happen.
Yep.
Go back to the article.
Go on.
We're just going to scratch the surface in this particular video. So it's all right.
Oh, good. Alright, so back to Simeon Kimbagu.
And the Most High just showing us he's in control. You know, he's in control and he decides. Because what did the Most High do to him, to his brain? He allowed him to. As a matter of fact, the title of the video, I'm going to read the title of the video. The Lord puts glitches in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Elder Apostle Tahar's video, and there's a small little it's a small title, but that's a very deep. It's in so many words, but it's a very deep title actually. Yeah, and I don't want to get too deep, but just read the article and hit the precepts.
I really will be the glitches, you know. People gonna find out.
Well, the glitches are here.
Yeah.
Unbeknown to the devil, right, in the making. And we're still right because we just worms walk around here and we just present ourselves as Clark Kent. You know, we're just worms, and that's all we are.
Right. So again, it says again Simeon Kimbagu Toko, a mortal embodied in a divine realm. So it says, imagine someone rising from the dead more than once, defying assassins and defying logic itself. That's the legend of Simeon Toko, a figure whose remarkable feats overshadow even the miracles attributed to Hamashiach.
I wonder why they took that video down. You know, and they don't like these types of topics because you got to do a little bit of slightly a bit of research to just bring him up. I think that's that site. I think the fact that there's a scripture, I believe that might be a Jake that kind of like
produced the article.
We're read into it a bit. Yeah, there's a scripture too.
That's good.
Yeah.
So they even nicknamed him the Black Jesus.
And with a name like Simeon, well, Simeon is what, Levi, isn't it?
Yeah, Simeon and Levi are brothers.
As the tribe.
Yeah, they're spiritual.
They're brothers. And what was they also into? Left-hand side stuff.
Yeah, instruments
both
of cruelty.
Yeah. So the Most High is in control of left-hand side and right. If you say, well, it was left-hand side, well, the Most High is in control of left-hand side as well.
Yeah.
He's in control of everything. We're just puppets playing out our role in this movie. Simeon was a very formidable puppet, but it's going to be more, as you say, it's going to be more formidable. Let me just say it like that.
Yeah.
This movie will get more and more dramatic.
Yeah.
Just finish the article. There will be a part 2.
It says, a while back, while exploring the fringes of human potential, I stumbled upon a captivating story from David Wilcock, a prominent author in the New Age movement. He spoke of a mysterious individual shrouded in secrecy who possessed, well, let's just say, his achievements would make even the most devout believer raise an eyebrow. Says he defied his own death several times by regenerating his own body and performed feats surpassing even the legendary miracles of Yahushua. It says, just last month, a friend sent me a short clip revealing the name behind the extraordinary claims. Curiosity piqued, I delved deeper and discovered a narrative more fantastical than fiction. Prepare to be astonished, for this is the story of Simeon Kimbagu Toko. So Simeon Toko, born February 24th, 1918, in a forebodingly named village of the Celestial Mountain. Even where he came from is, it's quite spiritual. Scriptures talk about, celestial bodies as well. Yeah. Different from this terrestrial. That's why he was likened to be as an angel. Now it says, in northern Angola, emerged from an environment ravaged by natural disasters for nearly 5 decades. It says this, summoning angels to fight genocide. One of the most captivating aspects of Simeon Toko's story unfolds during the 1960s, a brutal colonial era in response to the wicked Belgian Edomites committing genocide. Toko summoned an army of angels.
Hear this. Scriptures on my mind now. The angels of the Lord. What are they? They called. What did Esau call them?
Aliens.
Aliens.
Yeah, which alien just means stranger, by the way.
Yeah. So Scripture, Psalms. Read that. I'm gonna hold the scripture, but carry on reading that.
God, it says, Simeon Toko's story unfolds during the 1960s, a brutal colonial era. In response to the wicked Belgian Edomites committing genocide, Toko summoned an army of angels. The Edomites' atrocities included cruel slavery and sickening torture, such as mutilating the hands of men.
Yeah, that's what they Edomites, you say, used to do. They still do. Right, because we got the what they call it, the Nepstein files now.
Oh yeah.
Right, Nambla, man, you don't hear much about it, but I remember hearing about this a lot around 2012. It's kind of died down now, but they're still doing it. Man, boy, love, man, dealing with the Greeks, the Romans, all over again, doing what they do with what the men was doing with little boys. That's still happening.
Yeah, they're back here today anyway.
They're back here today, doing what they've always been doing. The spy cops, right? The spy cops, what was they doing? They was intervening, or how you say, integrating themselves in families, having wives, and even having children with wives, just to find out, just to gather information. Yeah. This is another thing that's going to come out too. All these files that are going to come out. Just to name a few, there's a lot more than just the Nepstein files. Yeah. So talking about the inhumane things, that's what you're reading right now. Cool. The inhumane things that they do. So the Most High said, right, I'm just going to show them something. I'm going to show them something. You've been doing this for a long time, the fugitives. I'm going to show you something, what's going to come about later on. I want to give you a little glitch in the matrix.
Oh boy. It says the Edomites' atrocities included cruel slavery and sickening torture, such as mutilating the hands of men and women in the Congo. Toko's actions echo biblical prophecy, particularly Isaiah 40 and 31, foretelling renewed strength for those who wait upon the Lord.
You hear that?
Oh,
you hear
boy.
that? So read the precept. Renewed strength that wait upon the Lord. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew. Yeah, read that precept, man.
This is Isaiah. Yeah, quick. Isaiah 40 and verse 31. Yeah, this is Isaiah 40 and verse 31. But they that wait upon the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint.
And what did Simeon Toko say? He said, you're able to do this to me, right? Because the Most High gave him a little run. And he said to all those that was trying to get rid of him, you're able to do this to me, but there's going to be some that come that you ain't going to be able to stop. It's going to be formidable.
Oh, yeah.
So he was just one example that was, he came, he just was one of the Most High's examples that was a glitch in the matrix. To let them know, and they're going to get the idea, they're going to get the message when they come around again. As a matter of fact, that you just read it. And when they come in like a flood, that's another one. Isaiah 59 and 19. And we're going to end with that, man. A couple of precepts. Time is running. They got the idea. We're just laying the groundwork for the formidable things that's going to come.
Oh yeah. A glitch in the matrix.
As well, pull up what Google has to say as well, because it gives it.
Simeon Toko.
Yeah, I've got here because I know, as you say, this is what ChatGPT says. Simeon Toko was a major religious figure in Angola, born in 1918, who founded the Tokoist Church in. So there's a lot of things that we are yet finding out. Yeah, the late 1940s. He and his movement were known for extraordinary events. This is ChatGPT, by the way. Like a claimed divine descent of spirit, unnamed languages, boy,
Yeah. See you again.
unnamed languages, yeah,
Okay.
healings, even reports of his spirit appearing after his death in 1984. These claims remain. This is what Chat has to do. Even Chat's giving a disclaimer because Chat's covering his ass. Oh, Chat, by the way, Chat, right, is Chat may be getting prosecuted
How so?
because someone found out how to was getting information, right? We may do a video on this too. Someone was getting information on how to if we wanted to shoot up a school. Yeah, he was asking Chat, and he was asking the Chat all the different types of guns and all the different types of materials, and Chat gave him gave him the answers, and he was successful.
Yeah.
So now they're trying to find a way how to prosecute whoever was behind it. Right now, Chat's all right. Chat's on the run. Chat's anyway. You get the idea.
Yeah.
So Chat is giving out some information that people are able to.
It's like the internet.
Yeah.
It's like the internet. It's just more accurate.
He's getting more and more serious with Chat because Chat has to give out the correct information.
Mm.
Right now, the person who's speaking for Chat is saying Chat didn't do nothing wrong. He was just giving the correct information that what he's assigned to do.
Mm.
But because of people was deleted or people got injured, obviously you're going to get people that have to point their finger at somewhere. They didn't know where to point their finger. So right now they're pointing it at ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But Chat was giving the right information. So they have to give the right information. Every now and then they try and cover themselves though. As when some truth be coming out, as Apostle Tahar, he doesn't use the ChatGPT for the truth. He's basically asking it, and it's repeating what's already said as far as GMS, what's already taking place with GMS. It's not nothing new. So it's not a place to go for if you want to get breakdowns. It's just repeating what's already been said. That's the disclaimer. But this is what's already been said. These claims remain. Once again, he's covering himself. Unfade. Yeah, that word there. Unverified. Yeah. Because they are mostly faith-based. Well, this truth is faith-based. So you're right there.
That's why
this truth.
Level.
Yeah, and faith is a powerful thing. We don't underestimate faith. Based orally and not documented in
passed down orally and not documented in archival records.
Have you looked up what Google's saying?
Google says a few stuff.
Alright. Just read what he's saying and we're gonna close it. We'll hit one more precept after this or a couple more precepts after this. Because really we're just making the point of what's coming down the pipe. Because he is frying the kitchen sink. What happened, the brothers know. What happened in Golders Green, what happened in Stamford Hill, as what one of the brothers said. He's showing himself to be desperate and he's getting sloppy. But this is a Most High's movie. When you come in like a flood, the Most High gonna lift up a standard. He's already gave you a little there are glitches for you to see, and you don't even like when the truth is exposed. Right, have you got it?
Yeah, it says Simeon Toko. This is the AI mode on Google. Simeon Toko, born 1918 to 1984 and died 1984. It says also known as Simao Goncalves Toko was an influential Angolan religious leader and prophet who founded Tocoist church Igreja Tocoista. He is a central figure in Central African spiritual history, often regarded by his followers by a messianic figure or even the reincarnation of Jesus Christ, as it says here. So it says, let me try and get to the point.
All right, let me read this. While I'm reading this, see if there's anything else. But this is from the Google too. It says, Simeon Toko, we read that already. This is what happened. He is reported to have summoned thousands of angels that were seen fighting alongside that. That scripture that comes to mind. Is it in Maccabees? It might be first or second Maccabees when Judas Maccabees was defended when the angels came and they was in gold.
Yeah.
See if you can pull it up, and we're going to end with that. It might be in first Maccabees or second Maccabees. It might be 10:24 around there. I think it might be second Maccabees, but see if you can find it. Yeah. Summoned thousands of angels that were seen fighting alongside citizens against belligerent that word.
Oh, Belgian colonial
soldiers. See, this ain't no small thing, you know. He went up against the military, and I'm just reading and repeating, you know. Disclaimer: I'm just reading what Google I'm just reading what Google's saying. Yeah. Soldiers in Leopoldville.
Yeah, Leopoldville.
With witnesses. See, there was witnesses too. These supernatural figures were invulnerable. Invulnerable. I'm just reading.
They had no weakness.
Excuse my dyslexia, Akim. Every now and then, you know, it's Satan anyway at the end of the day. Right? Supernatural events witnessing on January the 4th, 1959, reported seeing roughly 10,000 angels of supernatural men who displayed immense strength and were unaffected by gunfire.
Yeah.
Have we read it yet?
Which one?
All right. While you're looking for that, let me read the scripture. Yeah, we're gonna start wrapping it up. You know, time is moving, running and passing. But let me hit this scripture. Isaiah. I asked you to get it, but I'll read it while you're looking at that one. Isaiah 59. See, we are faith based. We're faith based, but it's all right. We know what faith is. Was that Hebrews 11?
Yeah.
Right. The expectation of what some don't see, we see. As another way of talking about faith is seeing what men can't see, seeing the invisible, right? And we see the invisible, and it's real to us. Right, 19. You know, we may seem strange to people, but it's because we do see that. We see what a lot of people don't see. Isaiah 59 and 19 says, "So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him." If you tap in Judas Maccabees, protected by an angel, yeah, it may come up. Judas Maccabees defended by gold angels.
Was it the one where he exhorted his men? He had like 6,000 men, and then. Well, that's another one.
No, there's that one too, but there's a different one. Judas Maccabees defended, and it's basically when they come in like a flood. And this is historical event. That was a historical event. What happened with Judas Maccabees? He was in the heat of battle, and the angels came and defended him. As a matter of fact, that's a beautiful one to end on. Let me see. It could be second Maccabees 10, 24.
Yeah, that's the one.
10 and 24, yeah?
Yeah. Get that.
Yeah, there you go. I'm there, but yeah, I'm there.
So this is second Maccabees chapter 10, verse 24. Starting from verse 24, it says, "Now Timotheus, whom the Jews had overcome before, where he had gathered a great multitude of foreign forces and horses out of Asia, not a few, came as though he would take a Jewry by force of arms. But when he drew near, they that were with Maccabeus turned themselves to pray unto the Most High, and sprinkled earth upon their heads, and girded their loins with sackcloth, and fell down at the foot of the altar, and besought him to be merciful to them, and to be an enemy to their enemies, and an adversary to their adversaries."
Yeah, what verse you in now?
26 now.
Alright.
"As the Lord declareth. So after the prayer they took their weapons, and went on further from the city. And when they drew near to their enemies, they kept by themselves. Now the sun being newly risen, they joined both together.
the one part having together with their virtue, their refuge, also unto the Lord, for a pledge of their success and victory, and the other side making their rage leader of their battle. But when the battle waxed strong, there appeared unto the enemies from heaven 5 comely men upon horses with bridles of gold, and 2 of them led the Jews.
Yeah, that's the angels, right? And as he described them there as men, so they were angels in bodies.
They look
They
good.
appeared as appearing as men.
Yeah,
Because you know you got angels, they can transform.
yeah,
Right, we've seen if we've seen there's one that's in the back of my mind. As a matter of fact, in the movie The Men in Black, 2019.
Yeah, that was a good one.
right?
That was
We're gonna look at that after.
the 2 twin Jakes, isn't it?
Yeah, they're professional dancers. The Les twins,
Come.
and they got them as Jakes,
Yeah.
looking like they got a little bit, got flair about them and style. And there was the way they was like manoeuvring. There was indestructible, and even the final, even when the Men in Black use one of the most powerful weapons at the end, because they was trying all the different weapons, gadgets.
Yeah.
It was getting out the car. The last most powerful weapon, they had them seemingly that it was disintegrated,
Yeah.
but they came back together again. So these angels, you can't destroy them; they're invincible.
Invulnerable.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. That as well. So yeah, 2 Maccabees 10:29 says, but when the battle waxed strong, there appeared unto the enemies from heaven 5 comely men upon horses with bridles of gold, and 2 of them led the Jews, and took Maccabeus betwixt them, and covered him on every side with their weapons, and kept him safe, but shot arrows and lightnings.
Yep. So what did the angels Simeon Toko do? What was they able to do? Let me go back there. Let me go back there. We're just making the comparison, right? It says supernatural events. Witnesses on January the 4th, 1959, reported seeing roughly that's 10,000. Is that 10,000? My dyslexia is messing up, man.
1,000.
That's 1,000 angels. You don't need a lot. You only need one anyway. But just for the
Quick work.
for quick work, the order. For quick work, the angels of the supernatural men who displayed immense strength and were unaffected by gunfire. Right, so they can phase the guns. They can just if you saw Superman, one of the 2008 where when Superman was just walking up to the machine gun and they were shooting the machine gun, it was hitting his chest. Then the machine gun ran out of bullets, and then the guy had one more little gun left. One gun, he pulled it out and he tried to shoot. He shot Superman point blank in the eye, and it hit on the eye and just dropped to the floor. So they're showing you, because that angels can do that, and it's not an over exaggeration. Even in the movie made up, and but it's not an exaggeration. The angels can do that and then some and more.
That's it. It says and
not affected by gunfires. Yeah, it's like it gone.
2 Maccabees 10:30, and took Maccabeus betwixt them, and covered him on every side with their weapons, and kept him safe, but shot arrows and lightnings against the enemies, so that being confounded with blindness and full of trouble, they were killed, and they were slain of footmen.
Oh, that reminds me of a vision. Yes, don't forget your point. A vision that a sister, who was it? But I think it might have been Apostle Tahar. No, it was one of the elders from Mississippi camp, and the woman they was doing the video, and a woman, a sister, had a vision that she refused to take the MOTB. I'm just giving it in a nutshell. And they said, right, we're gonna, a lot of people were getting persecuted and deleted for turning down taking the MOTB. And there was a big audience, and the sister said the Most High blinded everybody that wanted to witness the public execution for those that didn't turn down. They turned down the MOTB, and so the Most High said, rather than make a fool of my people in public, he blinded everybody, and blinded the executioner that wanted to delete her and she ended up escaping.
Mm.
So you was on the
That's
talking
actually
about what happened there on the talking about the blinding.
With the lightnings, yeah, it says, but shot arrows and lightnings against the enemies, so that being confounded with blindness
Yep.
and full of trouble, they were killed. Of course, that also reminds me of Genesis 19, with Lot, the angels blinding the men as well. So that's another thing too. Yeah, blindness is also spiritual power too.
Mm.
So verse 31.
Yeah, the last one. This is the last one.
Go on. 2 Maccabees 10 and 31, it says, and there were slain of footmen 20,500 and 600 horsemen. That's a lot of.
We're gonna wrap it up there, man. There's a glitch in the the Most High. He has glitch. The Lord puts glitches in the matrix. Line backing up Elder Apostle Tahar. That little title there, the rabbit hole got bigger and deep. That's a very deep title. Because can he do it for you? Can he do it for me?
Yeah.
Has he done it in the past? We're going to find out.
Oh, yeah.
Unbeknown to us, maybe.
Can't.
As a matter of fact, yes, he has, because he has, because the elect are back here. And what some of us, the testimonies that some of us have got, yes, he has.
Yeah.
I've said enough.
Can't.
Close it out, Papa Kusha.
So Yara Tazari found it edifying and exhorting, as you say, Kal Haloim La, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Once more, double honors to the great Muslim apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone. Shalom. And Yabashim Yashab Rakatham.
Yabashim Yashab Rakatham.